What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I've got another very important AMC update to bring all of you this afternoon. So we have a lot to cover in this video. We have a lot of really important updates. So we're going to go over the Ortex short interest and utilization to give us a better understanding of where the current short interest is at and where the utilization is at as well. Now, when we look at utilization, we're mainly looking at that number to get over 95, 98, 99, as close as we can possibly get it to 100 in order to see that cost to borrow significantly increase and lead the way for those forced share recalls that a lot of us have been looking for. Now, in addition to this, we also have a very important situation developing with AMC share price, the price action, and the option chain. What we are seeing here is the potential for a very significant gamma squeeze is significantly increasing. We're going to go over exactly what those key levels are, how many contracts are already in the money, and where we could potentially see the price action take us. Now, we also have something very weird happening with a couple of the high-ranking members at the Federal Reserve. They are selling off a significant portion of their equity positions in the U.S. market, and the reason that they are giving for these sales sounds completely backwards and is not in line with these individuals at these institutions have done any time before in the past. Now, the last thing that we're going to be covering is the fact that some really substantial short sellers who have come out publicly and said that they've been shorting AMC are now taking very, very significant losses. So before we get into all of that information, if you enjoyed the information and analysis that I provide for you in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it really helps us out a whole lot in getting this information out to as many people who want to learn. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So at the current time that I'm recording, AMC is currently trading just above this $51 mark. So we are seeing a very significant green day, and the fact that we have broken that $48.50 resistance and are now trading above $50 a share, it just makes me incredibly bullish going forward with what we have going on with AMC and this short squeeze play over the next couple of weeks. Now, when we come over and look at Ortex, we have the utilization right now. Let's refresh this page to make sure we get an up-to-date estimate of 91.44 and the current estimated short interest 18.59%. So we've been seeing this utilization number consolidate in this 91 to 93% range. But as we see more shares get loaned out with these higher prices, with these institutions trying to average down on their short positions, we are most likely going to see this utilization number continuously increase. Now, when we talk about the short interest, it is still incredibly high. And in addition to this, we have also received the exchange reported short interest for AMC today. When we look at the settlement date over here, August 31st, the release date today. So the settlement date is the effective date of this report. The shares short 95.94 million. The short interest is a percentage of the free float, 18.76%. Still very high, but again, you have to keep in mind that the exchange reported short interest is just the bare minimum amount of short interest that we are seeing according to the data that we are being given. But previously, 18.07%. So what we are seeing here is that not only are the shorts not covering their short positions at the current time or previously, but they're just adding to their short positions, making this situation even more difficult for themselves once we end up seeing widespread short covering and the short squeeze end up playing out. Now, when we come over to Stonko Tracker and we look at how many call contracts are in the money at the current time, 92,798 contracts. This is really important. When we take a look at what kind of expiration date we have coming up this week, it's a weekly options expiration date. We typically don't see that high of an amount of open interest or volume on these types of weeks. But the fact that we are seeing so many of these calls in the money just leads the way to some really bullish price action going into close today and the start of next week, because a lot of these contracts are going to need to get hedged for, and that could potentially cause this gamma squeeze that we are going to talk about in a little bit. But I know a lot of you guys are going to be bringing this up over here, that there's 0 shares left to borrow according to Stonko Tracker. What we need to keep in mind here is that Stonko Tracker is getting their data from Interactive Brokers. Interactive Brokers is just one broker, and what this is suggesting to us is that there's no shares left to borrow at that specific broker. This is not a widespread market, no shares left to borrow. This is just at one broker. So yes, it is important. It does show us that they're basically struggling to get their hands on more shares to lend out. But again, only at one broker. Now, coming down a little bit further, when we're talking about the weekly versus the monthly options expiration dates, we see that there's already 187,000 call contracts in the money going into next week. Now, most likely, a lot of these contracts have already been hedged for according to their current deltas. But as we see the price continue to go up, the delta rating on these contracts goes up as well, and they need to hedge more of those contracts. And when we talk about the delta hedging in terms of this gamma squeeze, what the institutions have to do when they sell calls is they go out and buy shares, or they can buy an offsetting call contract. But what we need to take a look at is how many call contracts are out of the money at the current time. 256,000 contracts. If we see any more bullish price action, more contracts are going to run in the money, which is going to lead to more buying volume, which pushes the share price up even more. And once we get up to a certain level, it could be 55, it could be 60, 65, we don't really know, but we are going to see some smaller shorts that entered more recently start to cover their position, and that is going to add to the buying volume. And again, we are also going to see the FOMO start to kick in as we start to see these big price movements to the upside. Now let's get into this Federal Reserve member liquidation situation. So when we come over to this tweet from Unusual Whales, we can see breaking news: the Federal Reserve's Rosengren and Kaplan are said to sell their stocks amid the growing ethics concerns. That's a little bit strange. And when we come over to this CNBC article, Federal Reserve regional presidents Robert Kaplan and Eric Rosengren said Thursday they will sell individual stock holdings amid ethics concerns regarding trading in 2020. The Fed officials will sell all their stocks by September 30th and put the proceeds in passive investments, they said in statements released Thursday. While my personal saving and investment transactions have complied with the Federal Reserve's ethics rules, I have decided to address even the appearance of any conflict of interest by taking the following steps, Rosengren, the president of the Boston Fed, said. The two officials also pledged to not trade stocks while serving as Fed presidents. This is one of the weirdest things that I have seen in a while. What we have to keep in mind right now is that the market is very close to all-time highs if it is not currently trading at those all-time highs in just terms of the broad market. Now we have Fed officials coming out and saying that they're selling their positions amid ethics concerns. These are the types of people that are really entrenched in our government. They have access to information, and they play by a different set of rules. They're able to make a lot of these trades based on information that they receive, and they are not going to get into any trouble for it. So I think this is really just a front for what they are really doing. And what I believe that they're really doing right here is that they see the market is overcooked. They're trying to get out early, the same thing that they did right before the March crash of last year. Like, come on, if you're going to lie to us and come up with a reason for why you are going to be selling all of your stocks, pick a better lie. It is so easy for us to just see that this is most likely not based off any ethics concerns. Now, when we come over here, we're basically going to look at a short that has lost a bunch of money. So this is going to be a fun part of the video. Shout out to Ryan for posting this on his Twitter, Wolf of My Street. He's got a lot of good info over there if you guys would like to learn more. But when we come over to this article right here, AMC Entertainment short seller OD Asset Management hedge fund has suffered a massive loss over the last month. AMC Entertainment, the erstwhile distressed movie theater chain that has seen a dramatic reversal in fortunes amid a mind-boggling retail-driven stock price rally, continues to inflict crippling damage on its detractors. Well, obviously, when we see the stock price go up, when we have this potential short squeeze situation and more shorts start piling in, they are going to get hurt. Against this backdrop, the hedge fund OD Asset Management has emerged as one of the most prominent casualties in recent times as AMC Entertainment shares maintain their inexorable upward trajectory. As a refresher, the London Bank hedge fund had reported a substantial short position in AMC Entertainment back in August. Before this disclosure, the fund had made a killing on its bearish bet as AMC stock collapsed from 57 to 37 in July. However, the tables seem to have turned on Hanbury Odie, who manages the firm's LF Brook Absolute Return Fund and currently oversees around $1.5 billion in assets. As an illustration, AMC Entertainment shares have now breached the $50 price level and are up now around 70% since Hanbury Odie disclosed his bearish bet on AMC. So what we are seeing here is just the beginning. there are going to be many, many more of these companies that have taken out bearish bets against AMC and are going to take significant losses. When you think about what's going on with this short squeeze, we have BlackRock and Vanguard, two of the largest institutions, continually piling money into AMC, but we are going to see those two institutions pop up a lot on a lot of different companies just based on the fact that they own so many assets and have so many assets under management at the current time. They need to be able to deploy that capital. The important one, though, is Renaissance Technologies. Renaissance Technologies is the top performing hedge fund of all time, and they have recently tripled their position in AMC. So we are seeing smart money start to come in and really buy AMC in large fashion. And we have these shorts continuously trying to push the narrative that it's fundamentally overvalued and it should go down. That is not the situation here. There is overshorting of this company. The short interest, as we see over here, is still very high, and there is still a lot of potential, in my opinion, for AMC to move to the upside. But again, nothing in these videos is financial advice. These are for educational and entertainment purposes only. So that is mainly going to wrap up this update on AMC. If you enjoyed the information and analysis that I provided for you in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it really helps us out a whole lot in getting this information out to as many people who want to learn. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video, so you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks, learn about a couple of new ones, and see exactly which options I'm trading and which strategies I am using to trade them. So I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.